Hey guys, welcome to Chapter 6, Lesson 8. Today we're going to be talking about the distributive property and using partial quotients. So the word partial just means part of, and then quotients are our answers to our division problems. So we're going to kind of dig into a different way to divide that maybe some of you will enjoy more than the traditional way. And the distributive property, that's when we, like when we're doing the distributive property for products, that's where we used the area model, where we took a rectangle and we chopped it up and we did 30 plus 7 times 20 plus 8, and then we were able to do all of our multiplication in there and add it up. So anyways, we're going to do that for division too. So let's get started. So here we have our first example. Jake and his 3 brothers all went on separate vacations. They traveled 484 miles in all. They each traveled the same distance. How many miles did each person travel? Okay, so here if I took 484 and the problem's telling me do 484 divided by 4. So if I break up 484 into 400, this is called expanded form, right? Plus 80 plus 4. So I'm breaking apart each place value to show its value. So I could also draw it in a model like this, 484. And then if I divide each section by 4, then my answer would go on top up here. Okay, so if I do 400 divided by 4, that would be 100, right? If I have 4, like 100, 100, 100, 100, and I have 4 groups, how much is going to go into each group? 100, right? Okie dokie. And then another way I can do it is I can do it long division way. So 400 divided by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. Bring down the 0. 0 divided by 4 is 0. Bring down the next 0. 0 divided by 4 is 0. 100. Next I have 80 divided by 4. So another way I like to look at this is if I write it like this, I can look at it as, well, if I know 8 divided by 4 equals 2, then 80 divided by 4 is 20. Yeah, and same, I can do that up here, right? 4 divided by 4 equals 1. 40 divided by 4 equals 10. 400 divided by 4 equals 100. So I can kind of follow the pattern rules too. I know, I'm just trying to give you lots of different examples of how to do these division problems. And then 4 divided by 4 is 1. So if I was doing the area model here, I'd have 121. So if I add all those together, 100 plus 20 plus 1, I would get 121 for my quotient. 484 divided by 4 equals 121. So each person traveled 121 miles. It says use multiplication to check. What is this craziness? Okay, so then I would do 121 times 4, and I should get 484. Let's check. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 1 is 4. 484. So, there we go. We use multiplication to check our answer. We got it all checked out. Let's try another one. All right, so partial quotients is another way to divide where you break the dividend into parts that are easier to divide. Now, if you listen to this problem and you say, Mrs. Hamer, that makes no sense, that's fine. You just kind of got to, I'm just showing you a different way to try out. Some kids might like this way better. Some kids might like the other way better, which is kind of more standardized. But let's give it a shot here. There are 625 bars of soap. Each gift bag will have 5 bars of soap. Okay, how many gift bags can be made with the soaps? So 625 divided by 5 is what we're working with. Okay, so when we use partial quotients, here's what we're doing. We look at 625 and 5. And we say, hey, I know that 5 times 100 is 500. So I'm going to start there because then I can take away 500 and I can get closer. Like our goal is to get to 0. So if I say 5 times 100, right? So my 100 would go here. 5 times 100 is 500. So now I'm going to subtract 500 from 625. So now I'm looking, I got 125 left. Now I think of, well, I know that 5 times 20, right? Because 5 times 2 equals 10. 5 times 20 equals 100, right? So if I figure out, I know 25s can go into this still, and then I get 25 left over after I subtract my 100. 5 times 20 is 100. Okay, so then I'm left with 25 left over. And I say, well, I know that 5 times 5 is 25. So then when I subtract, I get down to 0. So then I add up all the numbers that I thought of. Okay, so 100 plus 20 plus 5 is 125, right? So my quotient would be 125. Let's see. Then 100 plus 20 plus 5 equals 125. So 625 divided by 5 is 125. So 125 gift bags can be made. So I don't know. Here's a partial quotients way. Okay, I wasn't ever taught this way growing up. So to me, it feels uncomfortable, but maybe for some of you, you'd say, hey, I kind of understand this. It makes more sense to me. That's why I'm presenting it to you. Not to confuse you. If you say, Mrs. Hamer, that was way too confusing. I like doing normal way better. Then do it. Okay, no one's going to force you to do certain ways of dividing. I'm just showing them all to you, and you pick the one you like best. All right, so here we're going to practice dividing using the distributive property. That was the first example that we did. So I'm going to take 639 and break it into 600 plus 30 plus 9. And then we take our divisor 3 and we put it on the outside here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say 600 divided by 3. So if I think of it like 6 divided by 3 equals 2. 60 divided by 3 equals 20. 600 divided by 3 equals 100. Okay, so our answer is 100. Our quotient is gonna go on top. I'll put it in blue so it kind of looks different, I guess. Next, we're gonna do 30 divided by 3. Okay, so 3 divided by 3 equals 1. 30 divided by 3 equals 10. Oops, blue. 10. Lastly, 9 divided by 3 is 3. Okay, so now I need to add 100 plus 10 plus 3. My little guys up here on top, I need to add them together to get 113. So 639 divided by 3 is 130. 200. How did you guys? I hope at home you were yelling at me. Mrs. Hamer, how'd you go from 20 to 100? It's 200, sorry. I was looking at the thing, I'm like, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. See, that's why you always ask yourselves at the end. Does that make sense? No, it did not. 213. Guys, that's what happens when you try to go too quick. 213, right? And we wouldn't go from 2 to 20 to 100. Wait a minute, 100? No, 200. Yeah, partial products. My fave. Here we go. So if and I don't love that they write it all out for you because that's just telling you the answers. But maybe it's easier that way, I suppose. I'm going to pick purple for my color here because I like purple. So if I look at 3 and I could say to myself, here's what I could say to myself. I'm going to do my own thing, you guys. 762 divided by 3. So let's say I look at 3 and I say, you know what? I can multiply 3 by 100 to get 300. Like you might see that. So, okay, let's do that. We'll subtract 300. 3 times 100 is 300. We know that. So then left over I have 462. Okay, I can get another 100 in there. Okay, 100 times 3 is 300 again, so I'm just going to subtract 300. So I have 162 now. Okay, now things get a little trickier. Well, 3 times 10 is 30. So I could take some 30s apart, or I could count by 30s, right? So if I know that 3 times 10 equals 30, what if I wanted like 30, then I could go 60, then I could go 90, 120, right? So that would be times 20 times 30 times 40. 3 times 40. Let's do 40, okay? 3 times 40, just so you know that I'm not lying to you. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 4 is 12. 120. So I'm going to subtract 120. Then I'm left with 42. Okay, but look at that, 10. Let's put another 10 in there. Minus 30. Okay, I'm left with 12. Oh, I love that because I know that 3 times 4 is 12. Now notice I took many more steps. How many steps did I take? 1, 2, 3, 4. I took 5 steps to get there. These guys took 3 steps to get there. Doesn't matter as long as you're subtracting, you're multiplying, you're getting closer and closer, right? I could have done 10, 10, 10, 10, right? I didn't have to do 43s. I could have just done, I know 10 threes go in there, minus 30. I know 10 threes go in there, minus 30. 10 more threes, minus 30. You can subtract as many different partial quotients as you want. Then we just have to add them all together. So here I have 200. 40 plus 10 is 54. So 254. Okay, let's try another one here. I erase that so that I can write the next one. If you need it, you just scroll back in the video and it'll be there. All right, next one. So I have 426 divided by 2. Okay, so you know what I noticed right away? First thing, I should have given myself some more space is what I noticed. Right away, I know that 100 twos will go in there because that's 200. So I'm going to take that away. So I'm left with 226. Another 100 twos will go in there. Minus 200. I'm left with 26. 26, I'm just going to do 10. Because listen, I know 10 twos is 20. 6 left over. Now how many twos go into 6? 3. Now I just add my partial quotients over here. 100 plus 100 is 200. 200 plus 10 is 210. 210 plus 3 is 213. Okay, so this is partial quotients. I just wanted to show it to you. Again, you don't have to choose to do it. I'd like you to practice, right? But this doesn't have to be the way that you choose to do forever, but just kind of a cool trick, a cool strategy to have in your back pocket. All right, that's all I have for you for today. Thanks for watching to the very end, and I will see you later. Make sure you ask if you have any questions.